Hey everyone, it's Helen, the Crimson Cadaverous. I wanted to come on and talk about the next week of astrological transits because we have a lot of energy shifting over the next week or so. A lot of just really explosive energy that I personally feel like is gonna just kind of blow things up for us in a good way. But I wanted to talk about that because I was looking at the next week or so, and we have a lot going on. So I'm going to try and go through it fairly quickly so I don't lose anybody. But today I'm recording this on Wednesday the 17th, and we have Venus conjunct the North Node, which I'll just mention very briefly is a really good energy to get clear on what our values actually are and how we actually want to move forward with our life. So there's been probably a lot of stagnant energy that we've been dealing with for a while. And this is just kind of one of the many transits that's helping us kind of move that energy forward. So the next big thing that I wanted to talk about is on the 19th. So on Friday, we have the sun moving out of Aries and into Taurus. So we will have Taurus season. So this is actually really great energy to start off what I consider the week of changes, because Taurus is a very grounded sign. Taurus is fixed earth. So it's allowing us to ground ourselves and find some stability within all of the changes. So it's the idea that we can be stable within ourselves, even though there's chaos going on all around us. So definitely keep that in mind to tap into that energy. On that same day, we have Mercury forming a conjunction with Venus, which, if today, like I said, we had Venus forming a conjunction with the North Node, which is moving forward with what we truly value. Mercury, who is still retrograde on the 19th, will be forming a conjunction with Venus. And it's almost like rethinking the things that we actually find valuable. So rethinking the things that we've actually put energy into, the things that we thought were beautiful, the things that we thought were important, rethinking those things. So I think that's a really important energy while we're trying to ground ourselves. We're also, we're grounding ourselves, but we're also shifting our mindset. So, at the very core of who we are, we want to be grounded in that, but being open to new ideas, being open to new ways of finding beauty in the world. Also on that same day, we have Mars forming a sextile with both Jupiter and Uranus. And Jupiter and Uranus are actually going to form a conjunction the next day. So I kind of feel like this energy with Mars is, and it's a very harmonious energy with the sextile, is an energy that's kind of giving a power up to this conjunction that we've already probably been feeling, probably be experiencing some things with it already. So just kind of powering that up, making it an even more powerful energy that we're dealing with. Then the next day, like I said, on 4/20, on April 20th, Saturday, we have Jupiter forming a conjunction with Uranus. And so this is a very, very explosive energy. So Jupiter is expansion, Jupiter is faith, Jupiter is luck, Jupiter is making everything bigger, basically. Amplifying things. And also, if you hear that in the background, that's a leaf blower. I'm at the park. I'm at Washington Square Park. I'm actually hoping that you can still hear me. I'm going to go with it because the whole theme of this is just kind of, finding stability within the chaos. So we're just going to go with this whole leaf blower thing. But anyway, so Jupiter conjunct Uranus. Okay, so Jupiter expanding upon things, and Uranus is change. Uranus is sudden upheaval. Uranus is deep awakenings, that kind of came out of almost like a flash of lightning. So expanding upon the things that have been changing anyways, expanding upon the awakening that we've already been going through. So this is a really big energy. And what's interesting is on the same day, we have the moon forming a trine with Jupiter and Uranus. So with that energy, sorry, sorry, the guy's coming right behind me. With that energy, we have almost like, so a trine is very harmonious, so like kind of just like feeding very harmoniously into this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So I kind of see that as an energy that kind of helps us feel at ease with all of the changes that are coming through, all of the things that are kind of being blown up for us, all of the things that are being unveiled for us. So I think that's actually a really good energy. And then right after that, the next day on the 21st, we have the Sun forming a square with Pluto and Uranus conjunct Chiron. So the Sun square Pluto, the Sun is our authenticity and how we shine in the world, and Pluto is deep transformation, the underworld, the things that are hidden from us. So I definitely see like us being challenged, because a square is a challenge, us being challenged to dig really deep into our authenticity and find things that are hidden about ourselves that we didn't actually already know. I don't actually think this is a bad energy. You know, there's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to read it in the way that like Sun square Pluto, hold on, hopefully this guy just passes by really quickly. Sun square Pluto is an energy that, you know, is really just going to kind of, again, blow the lid open on the things that we weren't aware of already about ourselves. So it might be some shocking things. Again, this whole weekend is going to be like kind of shocking things, but it's things that we needed to know about ourselves. And then with Venus conjunct Chiron, okay, so Venus was conjunct the North Node today, but then Venus will be conjunct Chiron on the 21st. Venus is our values, like I said, how we find beauty in the world, and Chiron is how we heal. So I see us finding some peace and finding some value in the wounding that we've endured over this period of time, whether that be, you know, recently or over our entire lives. So almost like saying, you know, I went through this, but it wasn't in vain. So I think that's actually a really good energy to have on the same day as Sun square Pluto, because it's almost like, you know, we're kind of like rediscovering things about ourselves and coming to terms with things about ourselves. So then on the next day, the 22nd, that's a Monday, we have Earth Day. So the only reason why I mentioned that is because Earth is part of astrology as well. We are one of the planets. And I think, you know, with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction occurring in Taurus, which is fixed Earth, there's some things that are getting shaken up about our viewpoints about Earth and how we've been living on this Earth. I can make a whole nother video about that. I think, you know, if you listen to me at all, you're probably on the same page with me about the fact that we definitely have to change a lot of things about how we live on this Earth. And I definitely feel like, you know, this Earth Day, especially occurring right around all these like, you know, major transits, is helping us come to terms with that. And then on the 23rd, which is that Tuesday, we have the full moon in Scorpio, which in my opinion is really what's going to kind of, you know, help us culminate all that energy from eclipse season that we just dealt with. That was like really, really big energy. The full moon in Scorpio, so Scorpio is transformation. Scorpio is attached to Pluto in modern astrology, which actually this full moon squares Pluto. So I see us coming to a lot of deep truths about ourselves and our transformation, and, you know, just coming to a point of revelations around how we're changing, how we need to change, and, you know, it's also like a very like intense like rising phoenix energy. So imagine throwing yourself on a funeral pyre and then rising up again. That is definitely the energy of this full moon. And it could get really intense, but I feel like it like kind of needs to be like almost like holding our feet to the fire so that like we actually get moving with things. And then finally, I wanted to mention that on the 25th, so that's that Thursday, April 25th, we have Mercury finally stationing direct. I say finally because, you know, even though Mercury only goes retrograde for about 3.5 weeks, it always seems to like take forever. It is a beautiful time for reflection and contemplation, but it's also a time where things can kind of go a little wonky and we can feel a little unsure of ourselves, just because we do know things are changing. Our mindset is changing. We're rethinking a lot of things that we may have before, kind of thought was one way, but now we're kind of thinking differently about things. So with Mercury stationing direct, we should start to get some clarity on things that have been confusing for a while. What's interesting is on that same day, the moon is going to be opposite Jupiter and Uranus. So back on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on the 20th, it was trine the moon, but now we have the opposition. So to me, like, an opposition is like being able to like see across at something. And yes, there are opposing viewpoints, but sometimes those opposing viewpoints are necessary for us to get a different perspective. So with Mercury stationing direct and us getting the clarity from that, but also the moon opposing Jupiter and Uranus, I see us getting a lot of clarity around the changes that we know we need to make, and getting a lot of clarity around anything that's been like kind of blowing up in our lives, anything that's been changing. So basically that covers the next week or so. Like I said, it's a very big week. I see a lot changing for all of us. I see it changing for the good. I just want to remind you all that, again, we're about to start Taurus season, so we really, really, really want to ground ourselves, because there is so much shifting right now. There's so much changing right now. And the more grounded that we can be, the better. Spending time in nature, spending time with things that nourish us, spending time with ourselves, that's really important. But anyways, I wanted to leave it there. I just wanted to do a quick recap of everything that's going on. If you have any questions about it, please reach out to me. If you'd like to get a reading with me, definitely reach out to me as well. But I just want to, quote my dearly departed friend Adam and say that going into this week, make good choices and remember who you are. So I'm going to leave it there, and I just want to say I love you all, and I hope you have a good week. Bye-bye.